Hey everyone, it's Sean, and I wanted to give you a couple more tips to use. Right now we're between Class 2 and Class 3 of our Lucid Dream and OBE training program, and I think right now would be a good time to give you a couple more things to help you with doing your state checks and also with the wake back to bed method. And so regarding state checks, right now you've got two different ways to do it, right? You have your pre-scheduled state check. For example, every time you enter an elevator or a car or whatever you've assigned for yourself, that's one time you would check, am I dreaming? And then you have the spontaneous state checks when something weird happens in your day, something that seems dreamlike. But here's a third kind that you could start including in your practice, and that's anytime you become emotionally overwhelmed or emotionally frustrated, or you just find out that something, an assumption you were carrying isn't really true. So when there's a shift in your psychological state that way, especially if you're really upset and stressed out, and around the holiday season that can happen a lot, you find yourself really freaking out, you can stop and go, am I dreaming? And this is another way to use the state checks. Not only will it increase the number of state checks you do every day, but it actually has a spiritual, psychological component to it, because you'll start to recognize more and more carefully when you've been carried away with mindlessness or carried away with strong emotion. And this is a way to bring you back and check, am I dreaming? Because in a sense, when you're in a confused state, it is sort of like being in a dream state. So, and then regarding the wake back to bed method, this technique I'm going to give you now is related more with the out-of-body experience training, which we're going to do later on, but I want to bring it now because many of you have partners who you sleep with at night, or maybe your bed is such a cozy place that you're just conditioned to black out when you go to bed. So this method it would be that when you wake up in the middle of the night at your scheduled time, that instead of going back to bed after spending 20 or 40 minutes awake to rouse your mind a little bit, instead of going back to your regular bed, you go back to a special practice area that you determine for yourself. For me, it's my couch in the living room. That's where I go after I've woken up for the wake back to bed method. I lay down on the couch and start setting my intention as I drift back towards sleep. So at this stage of our program, you're thinking, next time I'm dreaming, I want to recognize that I'm dreaming, or something like that. But by doing it on a couch, or maybe laying down on the floor, maybe you have a meditation area with cushions, you can set up a little nest there. There, in those areas, you're not conditioned to black out the way you become conditioned in your regular bed. So you will fall back asleep, but something is different. It's almost like when you travel, or when you sleep in someone else's bed for some reason, you have more dreams or unusual dreams that you wouldn't have in your normal bed. So this works the same way. You're creating a special practice area, and because it's different, there's an intention attached to it that you'll be a little more wakeful when you fall back to sleep, and your intention will have a little more strength to become lucid and to have more dreams. So see if you can apply those two tips a little bit before we meet for our third class, and that's it. Enjoy.